Good morning. Welcome to CozumTV's weekly news bulletin in English. My name is Gürkan Gür. Here are this week's headlines. US-Israeli terror continues across the Middle East, while the profits of petroleum companies continue to soar. Revolutionary prisoner Gürkan Türkoğlu continues resisting death from his hospital bed in Antalya, Turkey. Greek resistor Aristoteles Hantzis' death fast is approaching its 100th day as support from his struggle intensifies. Local elections in Britain have resulted in a clear defeat for Starmer's not-so-pro-Labour Party. Yesterday marks the 81st anniversary of the Victory Day. Israeli attacks across Lebanon have killed at least 23 people, despite a United States-brokered ceasefire now in its third week. In a statement on Saturday, the Lebanese Minister of Public Health said an Israeli attack on the town of Al-Shaqaqiyeh in the southern Sidon district killed at least 7 people, including a child, and wounded 15, including 3 children. The attacks come despite last month's ceasefire that was meant to halt fighting with Hezbollah. Since April the 16th, Israeli forces have killed nearly 500 people, bringing the overall death toll since Israel's invasion and bombardment of Lebanon began on March the 2nd to more than 2,750 people, according to the health ministry. The Zionist army separately issued new forced displacement orders for several towns as it continued to occupy parts of southern Lebanon, maintaining a buffer zone that prevents the return of hundreds of thousands of displaced people and demolishing houses within. The occupying US military violated the ceasefire and attacked Iranian vessels. Airstrikes were also carried out against Kashmir Island and Bandar Abbas. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps announced that some regional countries had been used in carrying out the attacks and stated that retaliatory responses had been launched. According to Iranian state television, following the US military attack on an Iranian tanker, enemy forces in the Strait of Hormuz came under Iranian missile fire and after sustaining damage were forced to withdraw. Despite the so-called ceasefire, Zionist Israel continues its genocidal attacks on Gaza. In an attack carried out on the morning of 6th of May against the Zaytun neighborhood in southern eastern of Gaza, Israel killed 3 more Palestinians. Many others were also injured in the attack. Hezbollah announced that it had carried out new attacks against occupying Zionist Israeli targets in southern Lebanon, stating that advancing Israeli forces near Biyada and a command post in the town had been targeted. Tahir Hanini and Wael al-Jabbari, members of the PFLP who had been released as a part of prisoner exchange under the 9th of October 2025 ceasefire agreement in Palestine, have been detained once again. The Zionist judicial authorities have extended the administrative detention periods imposed on the detained PFLP members. Revolutionary prisoner Gürkan Türkoğlu cannot breathe. Revolutionary prisoner Gürkan Türkoğlu has achieved his demands after a hunger strike resistance that took more than 250 days. However, he is currently unable to celebrate his victory. As a result of the force feeding he was subjected to, he remains in intensive care and has had to be intubated because he can no longer breathe on his own. His life remains in danger. The Solidarity Association of Prisoners and Detainees Families, TAYAT, has now called on everyone not to leave Gürkan Türkoğlu alone in his struggle and to offer him moral support. To give strength to him and his family, solidarity photographs and videos are being requested carrying messages such as "Gürkan, rise up, claim your victory, your comrades are waiting for you." Poems may also be recited or songs sung, anything that may give Gürkan strength and ensure that he is not left alone. Here are some examples.
Arsızlaşmamış yüreğin söküldüğü bir zaman, kirli dolaşımlara karışmamış kanın döküldüğü bir zaman.
Uğruna hayatını ortaya koyduğun halkın ve yoldaşların seni çok seviyor.
Gürkan, wake up. Your mother and father are waiting for you. Like a monument of resistance, their hearts are bleeding, Gürkan. their hearts are burning, and patience flows from their eyes, honor from their eyes. Wake up, Gürkan, wake up. Your comrades are waiting for you. On the 100th day of Aristoteles Hans's death fast, we will be on one-day hunger strike on 15th of May. The People's Front and Anti-Imperialist Front announced that it will hold a one-day hunger strike on 15th of May in support of Aristoteles Hansis, who is on death fast against the demolition decision targeting occupied houses in Athens. And of course, CozumTV presenters and workers will take part in this meaningful solidarity. Long live international solidarity. Local elections in Britain have resulted in a clear defeat for Starmer's not-so-pro-Labour Party. The anti-immigration racist party Reform UK made significant gains, while the Greens and the Liberal Democrats also increased their representation. The Conservatives suffered further losses. In Scotland and Wales, nationalist parties secured major victories. The overall picture suggests that while anti-immigration politics are gaining support among parts of the electorate in England, growing numbers of people in Scotland and Wales no longer believe in the future of a united kingdom. Marked the 81st anniversary of Victory Day, the end of the war in Europe as commemorated in Russia, across Europe, and in some former Soviet countries. While fascist intimidation took place in some countries, in Sofia, Bulgaria, our young comrades were attacked by a group of masked fascists. 2 comrades were injured and taken to hospital. The attackers reportedly shouted, "You will die." The injured comrades are now recovering and will continue the struggle. We must all stand against fascism so that the painful experiences of the past are never repeated. This is our message to the fascists. You are condemned by the peoples of the world, and our task is to ensure that you are never allowed to rise again. There is no place on earth for fascism or racism. This concludes this week's news bulletin. We continue to envision a world free from exploitation, occupation, unjust wars, and cultural and moral decay. See you next week.